Thanks a lot for spending your time for us as the IPNFA. I need first to explain why this interview is going with Bernd Herbeck. We know each other since the middle of 80s, so we are kind of dinos in the PT world, right, Bernd? But first of all, I like to introduce you. We know from the PT work in our PT association, like I said, and you founded the committee of the medical training, and you did a lot of research all over the years with the especially isokinetic on the pulley class. And like I said, you did research, but you also taught for 25 years in Heidelberg as academic chair in the prevention and rehabilitation. And this was a very totally new area. And nevertheless, you start your own really big one, private clinic in 1983, Sportomed in Mannheim. And it's still working till today. And I have had the chance, to have a PNF class there. And it was very, very important for me and very helpful to learn a lot, because we did as well this superficial measurements during the patterns. So it was really great. And you also have been between 1991 and 2002 CO in the PT coach from the German national athletes. Yes. Is there anything to add?
No, it's
no. Okay.
nearly too much. Thank you very much for
No, but it's true. It's true. It is
okay.
long work. And now we are going back. Why you are here and why I'm happy to have this interview with you, because you have had the chance to meet Maggie, and there is a nice story about this, or a few great stories, and I would like to ask you, when did you start as a PT, and tell us a little bit this story.
Okay, thank you very much, Kitty, for invitation. And of course, I'm pleased to tell a story. It's a part 1 and part 2 for me in this story, but we will see later on. I started my education, as I told the guys, as a physio in the orthopedic clinic of the University of Heidelberg. And our instructor of PNF was a young Italian PT with some months of experience in Vallejo. So it was very basic. Okay, then I worked as a beginner employee in the department of paraplegic and tetraplegic patients at the university. And one day my boss asked me, you have a car and you speak English? And I said, okay, yes. Because Maggie Knott from the Kaiser Institute in Vallejo, in California, will visit us. Please pick her up at the train station. I had no idea how Mrs. Knott looked. I expected a tough, tall, well-trained American lady in casual outfit. That's it at that time. It was in the mid-1970s. So I waited, the train arrived, the platform was getting empty, and finally there were only 2 people left. Me and a friendly-looking elderly lady, dressed in a woolen long skirt with a big handbag, yeah, and a small suitcase. That's it. Mrs. Knott, I presume? Oh, yes. I picked up the luggage and we went to my car. A tatty old Triumph convertible. No roof. And I thought of the song, It Never Rains in California. No, it will not in Heidelberg as well. Mrs. Knott entered the car. tried to control her hair, and enjoyed the journey through Heidelberg. So that was at the first beginning. So much fun, no problems at all. That was a funny part of the story, followed by the most interesting part too. Learning from Maggie how PNF does really work. We had a lot of VIPs invited here in the room, and the crowd of, let me say, 10 to 15 people were mostly advanced instructors of PNF. Maggie showed us in a demo her approach to a paraplegic patient on a high mat, no English conversation because the patient was not able to speak English. There was no conversation possible. But at the end of the day, a totally fanatic patient and a satisfied Maggie. That's it. And most of the VIPs were looking astonished, surprised, and didn't understand. That's the funny part of the story. Okay.
That's so great. So going back, I mean, I have been in Vallejo in 1986, and then, of course, I learned also different PNF, like first time in school. But what I think, what is great, that she already trained what we today saying the normal motor development and daily life activity, right, with the patient.
Yeah.
So she are not using directly special arm pattern, right? She was just training how he can get more independent.
Yeah. Her main issue was center of gravity, make it safe. Yes. And then she, perhaps some knew Archimedes from Syracuse, who said, give me a place to stand and a liver long enough and I will move the world. But we have to think of the forces you put on the center of gravity. If that is not safe enough, it's of no worth.
Yeah, that's so great.
Maybe it harms and it doesn't help the body.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
So, in my rehabilitation, you mentioned my clinic in Mannheim, and we started with the words of Anbahnung.
Yes.
Of course.
Facilitation, yeah.
Facilitation, and with special training techniques at the end.
Yes.
But that could last, let me say, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, or 8 weeks. Yes. It's not on weeks basis, but on, of course, criteria-based things.
Yes.
And I think I learned that from the very beginning from her, because she makes detection to the patient, and she made an evaluation later on. We never heard about that before.
Yes.
Not in PNF, not in other parts of our education.
Yes. And this is really so great, because when you see the old video from Vallejo, they really did pulleys. In the 40s, in the 50s, they did already training how the patient can go back in normal life. And that's so great, because you were really one of the first who did this kind of training. And I'm so happy that you are saying you heard from her and you learned from her. This is really amazing. This is really great. But can I ask back? I wonder, because you were the only one, you have her in your private car. So I was thinking, was she talking with you, or was she quiet and just looking around the area? I mean, when we think about, we didn't have any really telephone, we don't have mobile phone. So I guess she was coming from Frankfurt alone to Heidelberg. And must be tired, of course, of the jet lag, but she was a tough lady. So I wonder how she was talking or not talking, or was she hungry? Was she thirsty?
Of course she was tired. You can see that. But nevertheless, she asked a lot about Heidelberg, And of
Great.
course, I didn't take the shortest way. I said, okay, we can go up to the hill and have a look around there. We can look at the old bridge and so on. And she was interested. So the only one thing she was looking or caring for, her hair.
Yes. Great, great, great.
Because of their open roof. Okay, I didn't think about that problem, but yeah, okay. She accepted it, and we had a nice conversation, but not on the problem PNF. Yeah,
Yeah, of course.
we don't talk about PNF and all those things because I don't understand too much. I can add, if the time we learned each other at Mannheim at a course and so on, I remember you were not one of the fanatic PNF people.
No.
No. And that was what you called before, that the facilitation of, let me say, practical things in life and so on. That's the goal. Yes.
Yes.
I think many of our colleagues don't think of that.
Yeah, right. This is what I'm saying sometimes to my young participants. When I grow up as a PT, there was still the time that we say, oh, I'm PNF therapist, I'm Bobat therapist, I'm Voita therapist, whatever. And when I applied for the Voita course, and I was not cheating, I was saying what all other courses I did already. They didn't accept me because I did already too much in PNF. But I'm saying all the time, I grow up with everything. In my PT school, I also learned manual therapy. And for me, this all Klein Vogelbach, functional kinetic. I learned everything. So for me, everything was PT, right? And this
I think you have to have the right tool at the right time.
Yeah.
PNF has a special place. Maybe Klein Vogelbach has its special place.
Yes.
And there are many ways to go to Rome.
Yes, yes, yes.
And there are many ways
to connect all together. And I also did this education in the sports medicine. And I really think, of course, we need to know what the other field are doing. Yes, yes.
Yes, I learned very much from you, and I learned very much from the, let me say, sciences of training, sciences of handling sportsmen, and so on and so on. And to put that together in a combination, it's very useful because you cannot say, I am the only one for. That's no way today, no.
Yes, and that's so great because there's also a lot of research. I mean, the human being is moving three-dimensional, right? So when we only do one area movement, this is not helpful for the daily life movement. And you with your isokinetic, and this was so great to integrate this in the training process. And I guess this was one of the reasons why the German athletes in your time was also pretty good, right? When you trained them.
If you would ask me at the end of the interview, do you have a special sentence, message for me? I would say scientific knowledge has improved a lot. Next challenge is to re-establish manual skills in our profession.
Yes, yes, yes. And this is my thinking all over the years. I was allowed, and this is a big present that I'm now allowed to teach in Japan or in Korea and South America as well. And they are study 5 years. And I'm saying really since many years, my fear is that then we lose our main quality, the manual contact and the feeling. So this is what we have to train our young colleagues. Go back and feel what you are doing. Yes.
Yeah, that's right. I think, in my opinion, the combination, for example, or let me say, the relevance of PNF today is very high, but you have to add a structure in training sessions. If you
Yes.
do patterns, if you do that, and so on and so on,
Yes.
a structure, and you have to think of fatigue, and you have to think of central things. Neuromuscular is today not away from the periphery up to center, but from center to periphery. You know, things like feet forward, feet backward.
Yes.
You
Yes.
know today of mechanotransduction and so on. Those words were not common in those days, in the 70s. Scientists know that, but not a physiotherapist.
Yes.
And if you use that, you can give the patient an absolutely safe feeling. Yes, he understands this work.
Yes, yes. And this is why I like PNF till today, because it was in front of the time, we can say. But for some things, like you said before, what Maggie was doing, she was not telling us what she was doing, but later
Yeah.
on, the science
Yeah.
got the word for this and
Mhm.
give the chance to have explanation from the research.
Yeah.
And now we have the ICF. Now we have a really standardized assessment.
Yeah.
So, and we differentiate between structure and activity level. So this is really great. This is really great. And like you said,
I remember three expressions,
yes,
three words we learned in our basic PNF. The first one is lumbrical grip. The second one is please standing in the groove. And the third one is make pattern.
yeah.
Nothing happened in the demo with Maggie. Nothing.
Oh, no, no. And that's so great. And I'm saying all the time, the big ones, the gurus, are allowed to do everything, right?
Yeah.
They're allowed to change their own concept. I get the experience with other great people, Geoffrey Maitland and so on. Susanne Klein-Vogelbach, she did the same. She changed every day the concept. That's so great, so great. And I think if you develop a concept like this, it's on you to change whatever you like, right?
So,
Before,
yeah. Oh, sorry.
no, it's okay.
No,
Go
no.
ahead.
Immanuel Kant, 300 years
Yes.
old, said, try to use your own brain.
Oh, yes. Because Dr. Kappert come back twice to our meeting.
Yeah.
And what we also found, or I personally found very interesting, that on the second time, when he was the last time, and then the year after, he passed also away, unfortunately. And then he said, huh, I wonder why PNF still is so famous and so common and so useful, because he was going totally in another area after his research with Maggie. So
Yeah.
for him was really another step, another step, another step. And this is life. Life is changing all the time, right?
Right.
Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely.
right. Thanks. So what do you think from totally outside standing? You are not a member of the IPNFA and not
I'm too old.
no, you can be honorary member. So, what do you think? What are the PNF importance and relevance till today? What
Yeah,
would you say
I
from
think
research?
it's absolutely relevant today. Maybe you said, okay, this tool or this tool. We use in our clinic, for example, Voita or or PNF in the very beginning. And without that, you will not be successful. Because think of a staircase. In a staircase, you had several steps, and you have to do step by step. And if you stand on one step, you have to look, is that okay for the patient? Then you can do the next step.
Yeah.
And not to try to get up one staircase at once. Not possible. Step by step by step. Yeah.
By
Okay.
step. Yes, thank you very much. Thank you. So, Bernd, I really appreciate that you take the time. And do you have anything to add on this interview?
No, I think we talked a lot about the, let me say, the advantages of PNF.
Yes.
I cannot see today any disadvantage.
Great.
And
Thank you. Thank you.
yeah,
And I'm really, really happy that we get, because of you, a little bit more the private Maggie.
yeah.
That's so great. So once again, thank you very much. And I hope we will see next time somewhere.
Okay.
Take
Okay.
care, stay healthy,
Thank
and thanks
you.